Hello everyone, I say Nawaz. I welcome back you to my YouTube channel Petroleum Universe. So in today's video we are going to discuss the leftover part or the part 2 of the matrices what I have just uploaded a day before, matrices part 1. So in today's part we are going to discuss the multiplication rule and some of the other types of matrices, right? So let us start with multiplication of two matrices. So let A equal to Aij order of Mn and B equal to B of Ik order of Np be two matrices. Therefore the number of column in A should be equal to the number of rows in B. You have to just remember this condition that if number of column in A is equal to number of rows in B, then only the matrix multiplication is compatible. Okay, or else you can't perform a multiplication operation to any of two matrices, right? Then the resultant matrix order will be, the row of resultant matrix will be equal to the row of first matrix and the column of the resultant matrix will be equal to the column of the B matrix. Okay, you have to follow this rule and you have to cross verify your resultant matrix in terms of order with respect to first matrix rows and second matrix column. Okay, so here I'm not going to show any kind of example. You can pick any two matrices whose number of rows in A is equal to number of rows in B, then you can perform your multiplication, right? And that's a simple multiplication. So I'm not showing any kind of such that. So here after that I am going to tell you about the properties of matrix multiplication. Okay, so here he is saying that if two matrices are associative, only if A into B C is equal to AB into C, where here is the order of the three matrices, where the first matrix column should be equal to second matrix row and second matrix column should be equal to third matrix row. Although I just said above that it's a simple rule of multiplication. So first, if you are multiplying BC and then the resultant of BC is multiplied with A, if that is equals to the first multiplication of AB and then the resultant of AB is equal to multiplication of C, if these both are equal, then then those three matrices are associative to each other. Okay, now we'll see how two matrices will be distributive. Okay, so if B plus C is multiplied with A, if that is equals to multiplication of AB plus the multiplication of AC, then these three matrices are distributive among each other, right? Okay, so for AB equal to 0, it is not necessary to be one of the matrix among two is 0, right? For example, you can see over here, like I wrote matrix 1 1 1 1 and the matrix 1 1 minus 1 minus 1. So if you perform a multiplication, multiplication operation to this, then it is like this one into this one plus this one into this minus 1, right? I just simply wrote like this over here. Then when I perform the complete multiplication, then you can see that 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1 and 1 minus 1. So the resultant multiplication matrix of these two matrices is nothing but 0 0 0 0, which is a null matrix. So here you can see that AB is equal to 0, but it is not necessary that among these two matrices one matrix is 0, right? I hope you understood this problem, this property of the multiplication of matrices. Alright, so we'll jump for the another property. In case AB equal to 0 does not imply that BA should be also equal to 0, and even BA may not be possible, right? That is actual true. Let us means if you take a matrices multiplication of B into A, then it is not it may not be the result that the resultant matrix should be equal to 0. And apart from that, if the order, if the column of B matrix when you are multiplying B into A, if the column of first B matrix is not equal to the row of A matrix, then multiplication is not possible. Okay. So let us jump for another property, which is nothing but right and left cancellation laws. Okay. So now let us see that this is a left cancellation law, which is nothing but AB is equal to AC. That implies B is equal to C if A is non-singular matrix. Here singular and non-singular matrix, it means that if the determinant of A is equal to 0, then that is nothing but a singular matrix, and if the determinant of A is not equal to 0, then that is a non-singular matrix, right? So if determinant of A is not equal to 0, then you can cancel out A from here before solving anything. Then you can consider that B is equal to C if A is not non-singular matrix, and if at all A is a singular matrix, then this turns to be a right cancellation law. Okay, here you can cancel out A and A, where B is equal to C if and only if A is in singular matrix. Okay. So I think you got that. Now after multiplication of matrices, we will see what is a trace of a matrix. So a simple definition of trace of a matrix is like sum of all the diagonal elements is nothing but your trace of a matrix, and it is denoted as TR of A or trace of A. Okay, and what you have to, the summation of which element you have to do is like whose the number whose position is same. Like I want to say whose row is, the position of row and the position of column should be same, then only you can sum of then only you can sum up the diagonal. Okay, like over here I can say that the position of this one is nothing but one row, first row and first column, right? So here position of row is equal to position of column, so you can consider this as a diagonal element. As you can even see in my previous video, I have explained the diagonal elements very in a very understandable way. And after that I have a 5, like it has the position of second row and second column, and at last I have 9, third row and third column, whereas you can't use 3 because it has a first row and third column, where you can see that position of row is not equal to the position of column. So here I am taking 1, 5 and 9, and sum of all these 3 diagonal element is equal to 15. So this 15 is a trace of A, right? So it is as simple as it looks. If someone is asking you to find the trace of A, then you have to just simply took the diagonal element, then you have to sum up that, and that the resultant answer will be, the resultant number will be our answer for trace. Okay, so now let us see what will be the properties of trace. Here properties like if A and B are two square matrices and lambda be a scalar, then trace of lambda into A is equal to lambda of trace into A, trace of A. Okay, you have to remember this property, and even in GATE questions they may give you direct questions from these properties, that if trace of lambda A is equal to, then select the correct option from the following. Then if you know this property, then you can directly collect the option, or else you have to leave that problem. Okay, and after that we have trace of A plus B is equal to trace of A plus trace of B, right? So if you have a matrix, two matrices A and B, if you have applied an addition operation to that, and after that the result, you took the trace of the resultant matrix, then that will be equal to the trace of A plus trace of B. Okay, and the third property is like trace of AB, sorry, transpose of AB. Transpose of AB is equal to transpose of BA, right? So here what you mean to say that after multiplication operation between two matrices, the trace of a resultant matrices is equal to the inverse, the opposite multiplication of those two matrices, like B into A, and the trace of that resultant matrix will be same as the trace of AB. Okay, so hope you understood these three properties. Now let us go for the transpose of matrix. Here the transpose of matrix is as simple as it looks. Apart from reading this definition, I would like to tell you that if a matrix A has changed its rows and columns respectively with each other, then that matrix operation is nothing but transpose of the matrix. Like let us see over here that A is equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's an order of 3 by 2, 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so if you are performing a transpose operation to this, then this column will change into row, or this row will change into column in the resultant matrix. So as you can see over here that 1 and 4 as it is in row, and in the transpose matrix it comes to a column, right? As in second, 2 and 5 in row, 2 and 5 in column in second column. As in third, 3 and 6, third row has changed into third column as 3 and 6. So here even you can see that the order of the matrix, the order of the matrix have been also changed. The row has changed into column as 2, and column has changed into 3 as a column. Okay, hope you understood this. Transpose means it is just a simple changing a row to its column or column to into row. Okay, so now let us see what will be the property for this. Let us suppose we have a matrix, so a transpose of that matrix, and again the resultant of the transpose matrix will be equal to A. So A transpose whole transpose is equal to A, right? And after that A plus B transpose is equal to A transpose plus B transpose. Okay, then the third property is like scalar multiple of A transpose is equal to scalar into the resultant of A transpose, where K should be any complex number, right? Okay, so now let us see for the fourth property, which is nothing but A into B transpose is equal to B transpose into A transpose. Whenever you have to multiply, whenever you are doing a multiplication operation and then the resultant matrix is having get transpose, then that will be equal to B transpose into A transpose. Similarly, if you are multiplying in 3 matrices, then also it transpose will be equal to C transpose and B transpose and A transpose. Okay, hope you got that. Yeah. So now we will see the conjugate of a matrix. So the conjugate of a matrix here is nothing but, I will just tell you a simple without reading any definition, that if an element in the matrix have an imaginary number with 8, okay, then you just have to simply change its sign from whatever sign is there before, right? Like here you have 3 plus 2i. So if I write a conjugate to that, then it will be 3 minus 2i. Here you can see that I am only changing the sign of an imaginary number like 2i. Okay, rest I didn't change any sign of 3 because it's not an imaginary number. Okay, so you just have to change the sign of an imaginary number, like what I want to read it out over here. A equal to 3 plus 2i, 5 minus 8i, 9, minus 2i, 7, 10 plus 2i. So if you do a conjugate operation to that, so it will become a conjugate of A equal to 3 minus 2i, 5 plus 8i, 9 plus 2i, 7, 10 minus 2i, where order will be same of that matrix, because we are not transposing it, we are just applying and conjugate to it, right? Okay, so now let us see. Before that, I would like to tell you that it is denoted by A dash, or A above a line will be there, A bar, you can say that. Okay, so now let us see the properties of conjugate. Here I would like to say that this property of conjugate is equals to a property of a trace over a property of transpose over transpose. Okay, so here A conjugate of A and again the conjugate of that resultant matrix will be equal to A. Okay, alright, then A plus B, first we have to apply an addition operation, then if the conjugate of that will be equal to the conjugate of A and then conjugate of B. If you are firstly doing the conjugate to a respective matrices individually, then the resultant matrix is get added with each other, then the resultant matrix will be equal to this particular matrix, right? Okay. Here you can see the third property of a conjugate, like k is a complex number or is a scalar to that. Then if it is a complex number, if k is a complex number, then conjugate of A into A conjugate of A matrix, the resultant of this will be equal to, first we have to multiply a conjugate a matrix within a scalar, then the conjugate of that will be equal to this. Okay, then finally the next property is like, first we have to apply a multiplication operation, then conjugate of that will be equal to the first we have to conjugate individual matrices, then the multiplication of that is equal to this one. Here you can also see that I wrote only if A and B is conformable or compatible for multiplication. Okay, that's an obvious thing. I don't have to write over here, but for your information I just wrote. Okay, then the next property is if A conjugate is equal to A, it should be that A should be a real matrix. If A is a real matrix, then there will be no change in, even if we do a conjugate to that. Okay, so you have to remember this. If it is given the question that conjugate of A as a real matrix is what, so you have to write a simple A, because there is no imaginary or there is no complex number in that, right? And the next property is like conjugate of A matrix is equal to minus A if and only if A is purely an imaginary number. Okay, so I hope you understood that. Now we will see the transpose conjugate of matrix. So here by name itself you understood that first you have to apply a conjugate operation to a matrix, then the resultant of that matrix has to be transposed, right? So the transpose of here you should read that very carefully, because you will get some confusion. The transpose of conjugate of matrix A is called the transpose of conjugate of a matrix. So whatever I said just now, it is as same as like that, and it is denoted by A power theta or A power star, or like this, A conjugate whole power transpose, A bar whole power transpose, you can also say like that. So it is also called conjugate transpose of A. So even you can first transpose and then you can conjugate. That will be as same as transpose conjugate of matrix. Now let us see an example that if A equals to 2 plus I, 3 minus I, 4, 1 minus I, then the conjugate of that will be equal to 2 minus I. As I said you before that I am only applying a sign change operation to a imaginary number. So it is 2 minus I. Here you can see 3 minus I, and I have changed to 3 plus I. Here it is just 4, so I didn't change any sign because there is no imaginary number. And sorry, I just wrote 1 minus I over here. You have to change with 1 plus I. So it will be a 1 plus I. Okay. Then after that, I am applying an transpose to that. So here, this column have been changed to a row, like over here. 2 minus I 4. 2i minus 4 as a column has changed to 2 minus I 4 as a row. Then this column have been changed into row as 3 plus I, and here it should be I plus 1 plus I wrote as 1 minus I. So you can just replace from your side, right? So now let us see what will be the properties of that. Okay, so here it is like A theta means first I am conjugating that, then I am transposing, that will be A theta. Then again if I am doing the same operation to the resultant matrix A theta, then that will be equal to A. Okay, and after that the next property is like A plus B whole power theta is equal to A theta plus B theta, which means that first I have to apply an addition operation, then I have to conjugate that, then again the resultant of conjugate matrix I have to apply and transpose. That will be equal to the individual transpose conjugate of each matrix. Then the resultant matrices has to be sum up. that will be equal to this particular operation. Okay, now let us see the third property, scalar into matrix A multiplication whole power theta. Means first I have to apply a k into A, then conjugate, then I have to transpose. That will be equal to k to the power k I should first conjugate, then A power theta. So it is necessary that the k should be a complex number. Then only you can apply this rule, right? So why I am showing this kind of rule without showing any problem is like we have seen that in GATE many times they have been asking many questions regarding properties directly. Okay, so because of that reason only I am showing such kind of data. So the last property is for transpose conjugate of matrix is like, first we have to multiply and multiplication of, first we have to apply and multiplication operation, then conjugate of that, the resultant conjugate should be transposed, then that will be equal to b theta into A power theta. Okay, so now let us see the next, that is a real matrix. So a real matrix is nothing but a matrix whose elements are real numbers. Like example 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is as simple as I read over here. Now why this means how this real matrix is classified. So real matrix can be classified into three types based on transpose, A transpose and A relation. So what I mean to say over here is a matrix A is transpose. So the resultant of transpose and A, if they have some relation, then based on that this real matrix has been classified into three types. The first one is like symmetric matrices, which means that if A is a matrix and even if transpose of A is equal to as same as A, then that matrix is said to be a symmetric matrix. Like we have an example over here. It's very famous example you can find in any of the textbook, whatever you're reading for your GATE preparation. Like A is equal to AHG, HBF, GFC. If you just apply a transpose operation like this AHG I am applying for transpose as rho AHG, right? HBF and this rho HBF, and GFC, the column has changed to GFC rho. So here you can see both the matrices are equal, like A, what I just read, and A transpose is as same as A. So that property is said to be a symmetric matrix, right? Okay, so be sure that all the elements in A should be real numbers. Then only you can apply this rule to that. And moreover that, if you, even after you are getting a transpose, if you multiply these two matrices, then the resultant matrix will be also a symmetric matrix, right? Okay, then the second rule is like A plus A transpose divided by 2 is always a symmetric matrix. Even if you apply an addition operation, then you have divided the whole matrix by 2, then the resultant matrix will also be a symmetric matrix. Okay, if A and B and symmetric matrix, then A plus B and A minus B are also symmetric, and A into B and B into A may or may not be symmetric. Okay, right, you have to just keep in mind that these properties are very important if A and B is a symmetric matrix. Right. Now let us see, based on A transpose and A skew symmetric matrix. Right. So here you can see that without reading a definition like this, I just wrote a simple relation over here that if A transpose is equal to minus A, then that particular matrix is called as skew symmetric matrices. And it is necessary for skew symmetric that all diagonal elements should be 0 in matrix A. Like over here I wrote an example. Example A is equal to 0HG minus H0F minus G minus F0. So here you can see that all diagonal elements are 0, like 0, 0 and 0, right? So even if I transpose that, like 0HG column I am changing into row as 0 minus H minus G, and this column I am changing to row as H0 and minus F, and the last GFO, so GF0 I have changed to row GF0. So here you can see that 0, h has been changed to minus h, g has been changed to minus g. So that's the point what I want to make over here, that if A transpose is equal to minus A, then that is skew symmetry. And we have to note that if A minus A transpose divided by 2, sorry, if A minus A transpose divided by 2 is always skew symmetric. Okay. Then the last is orthogonal matrix. So here in orthogonal matrix, we have that a square matrix A is said to be a orthogonal if A is equals to A inverse, right? Here before I didn't show you A inverse, so you can, if you know before, then that is well and good. If not, I will show you in next video that what will be a inverse and how to find an A inverse. It is as simple as that if it is 2 by 2 matrix, then it will be A, B, C, D. Then A inverse will be D minus B minus C A. If it is 3 by 3 matrix, then that has a different operation. Okay. So now let us see for orthogonal matrix that if A transpose is equal to A inverse, then you can apply that. Then you can just shift this A inverse to left hand side. Then that will become A transpose into A will be always equal to an identity matrix, right? So thus A will be an orthogonal matrix if A into A transpose is equal to I is equal to A transpose into A, right? Hope you understood this. So now let us see the next proper note for this, that as I said you, A transpose into A equal to I. So if you apply a determinant operation to that, determination of A into A transpose will be equal to determinant of I, and these both will be equal to 1. Okay. Then if you first applying a determination to matrices separately, then multiplying and then doing a multiplication operation, then that will be equal to 1. And if determinant of A gets squared, and even that will be equal to 1. And if determinant of A will be equal to plus or minus 1. So you just have to keep in mind that these particular properties, and if he is asking in exam, then you have to simply write to that. Complex number. So complex number is like a number where we have an imaginary sign, then that is said to be an complex number or imaginary number. You can see here where A and B are real numbers and I is in solution of x square equal to minus 1. So if you even apply this, you can't say that x is equals to a real number. It may be positive or negative, or it may be a complex number. Okay. So if you understood this complex number, then complex matrix is nothing but a matrix whose elements are nothing but a constant complex numbers. Then that is said to be a complex matrix. Okay. Like for example, matrix I wrote over here that A plus IB and B and C and final element is B plus IC. So this is an complex matrix. What is the reason? We have two elements with an imaginary number or with a complex number. Okay. Then based on this complex number, how this complex matrix have been classified. These complex matrix have been classified into 3 types. The first is Hermitian, and second one is skew Hermitian, and the third one is unitary matrix. Okay. So here this classification has based on a matrix and its transpose of conjugate of that particular matrix. So if a matrix will be only Hermitian if and only if A power theta should be equal to A. If this condition is there, then that particular matrix is Hermitian or Hermitian, you can say like that. Okay. For skew Hermitian, it is like A power theta should, if A power theta is minus A, then that is an skew Hermitian. Okay. Then at last, if A power theta is equal to A power A inverse or A theta into A equal to I, then that particular matrix is nothing but a unitary matrix. Okay. So At last, let us see the example for this. For Hermitian matrix, if A is equals to A B plus I B I minus C B minus I C D, then A conjugate, first A conjugate will be equal to A. This A B plus IC has been changed to B minus IC. Then this B plus IC have changed from B minus IC, and this D is as same because there is no complex number. Then this transpose, as you can see over here, I changed this column into this row and this column to second row. So you can see over here that A conjugate whole transpose is the resultant of this matrix, or this matrix is as same as the matrix A. So here you can see that A is equal to A power theta. So this is an Hermitian matrix. And for skew Hermitian matrix, if A is equals to 0 minus 3 minus 2i, 3 minus 2i, 0. If I applied a negative operation to this, then it is 0. 3 plus 2i, here I didn't wrote 3 minus 3 plus 2i, you have to write that. So 3 plus 2 minus 3 plus 2i, 0. Right, okay. So first I am applying a conjugate operation to the matrix A, like 0 minus 3 plus 2i, 3 plus 2i, 0. Then if I applied a transpose operation to that, then that will become, this row will change into column 0 minus 3 plus 2i, and this row again it will change to this column 3 plus 2i, 0. So here I said you to change a sign as negative because I didn't multiply a negative sign over here. So after doing that, you can correlate, or you can see that this matrix, the resultant of this resultant and this resultant will be same. So as it is same, it proves in condition that A power theta equal to minus A. If this condition has been proved, then the given matrix is skew Hermitian matrix. And finally, a unitary matrix. A unitary matrix is equal to 1 plus I minus 1 plus I by 2, 1 plus I by 2, 1 minus I by 2. So you can just simply perform what is the condition for this. You can simply perform first conjugate, then transpose, then you have to see that matrix, and after that, if you have seen an A inverse, like I said you, it is an 2 by 2 matrix, so you just have to change D minus B minus C A. Okay, you have to change like that, and that resultant will be matrix. Obviously that will be equal to A over theta. If that condition satisfies, then this matrix is nothing but an unitary matrix. If not, then it is not an unitary matrix. So that's an end for today. Hope you like this, and if you have any suggestions or comments or any doubts, then you can use my comment box. And if you like this video, just hit like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel Math World. And the third and final part of these matrices will be after some videos of petroleum engineering numericals. I will upload after some engineering numerical problems. Okay, then if you like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel Petroleum Universe, and please press the bell icon if you haven't yet to get a latest notification for my new videos. And apart from that, thank you so much. Stay safe. Bye bye.